Welcome. Today we are discussing Task 1 in Application of Effective Communication. Some things to help you get started that are very helpful are our Course at a Glance document and our example presentation plans. I have links right here that you should find helpful. Tonight we'll be discussing developing a thesis statement, the rationale, research, and next steps. To get started, we have an exercise to develop a thesis statement. The first exercise is to create a thesis statement. Your thesis statement should include 1, a main claim, and 2 to 3 supporting major points, and 2, an indication that your information is research-based. To help you organize your thoughts, use this template. Research suggests that, then you have your main claim, because, major point 1 and major point 2. So basically you have your big idea and 2 forms of support. You can have as many as 3, but because the presentation is 5 to 7 minutes long, we do encourage you to stick to just 2 to 3 main points. So this is something that you can be working on. The next part is that you need to develop a rationale. Your rationale is basically an explanation of your audience analysis. So what have you actually prepared before putting your presentation together? So this is the idea of becoming very audience-centered. So the rationale includes an explanation of your purpose, audience, and the significance of the topic. And you can follow the example and the example presentation plans document that I have included in this recording. So the purpose, is your purpose to inform or to persuade? What do you want your audience members to know more about or do after listening to your presentation? What is the central idea of your presentation? Think about writing a sentence or 2 or paragraph here. They do want you to think this through. When we get to audience, you need to identify who would be the ideal audience based on the topic of discussion. Would this topic benefit primarily a specific group of people, or would a broader audience be more appropriate? Is your topic appropriate for the age range, interests, and general knowledge of your intended audience? Do make sure that you actually identify who this audience would be. If you think it is well suited to a general audience, you need to explain why that is. So let's say you're talking about something like video games. You might talk, depending on the audience that you're focusing this presentation toward, you might focus on different things. So if you were talking to a group of young people, where you're focusing might be different than a group of parents, for instance. A lot of topics can be narrowly focused toward a specific group, but you might also mention that this would also be helpful for someone also interested in this particular topic, etc. So do spend some time here. Don't just say my audience. Identify who you think this is. Describe who you think they are, and if it's more general, please explain why you think that is. And again, a sentence or 2 or paragraph is needed to fulfill the requirements here. For the significance, why is this topic important for the audience to know more about? How is it relevant for the intended audience? So not every topic is going to be earth-shattering and change the world, but there has to be a reason that your audience should listen to your presentation. If it is not significant, if it doesn't have at least some useful information, why would anyone want to listen? So every topic can be adapted. You can think about what is significant about this topic, and it could be that this is useful information that we might be able to apply to our daily life. Maybe it's that we're not aware of it. There are lots of ways that you can make your topic significant. All right, let's move on. The other thing that we need to think about in planning task 1 is that we do now need to gather some credible research and use APA formatting. So the next step is to begin drafting your presentation plan, utilize between 3 and 5 credible sources, and make sure to use APA format. I've provided a link here for the Purdue OWL, which is a nice resource to check in on formatting to make sure you're giving proper credit. You also now need to start thinking about your visual aid. Begin developing ideas for your visual aid. They need to reinforce your message. They can be existing resources or you can create your own. Be sure to include in-text citations to give proper credit. And then finally, please let us know if you have any questions. You are now well on your way to preparing task 1. The next part would be to start focusing on your research, working on a draft, and developing your visual aid.